I'm going to show you guys in this video is a monk build. This monk build is a continual damage build. In the very beginning, I'm going to show you what I'm using in terms of set pieces. I recommend at least a 4-piece set, probably a 6-piece set if you can get your hands on a good one, or otherwise you can use a 2-piece shell bass to increase your single target damage. This build is primarily going to be used for AoE damage, AoE continual damage. So let me show you the different options we're going to be running on a monk. Now, in terms of legendary gems, real quick, before we show you the legendary items, I do recommend if you can get your hands on a Seeping Bio works pretty good. Bottled Hope is an option. Other than that, there's not really a heavy requirement. Maybe Berserker Eye, Everlasting, if you're trying to get something for the 1-star point of view, or anything that's going to increase your continual damage. I could see arguments for things like Fervent Fang as well. So now, in terms of the actual legendary items, we're going to be using this Exploding Palm maximum charge is increased. The reason we're going to be using this one is because the Exploding Palm itself is going to give us immunity frames. So it's called the Crippling Insight. Whenever you use the Exploding Palm and jump, it gives you immunity frames. You cannot be hit during that jump. It also has a pretty good amount of stun timing, which we're going to be using as well. Now, in terms of the shoulders, we're going to be using the ones that are going to be doing the actual burn. They're called Shimmerlin. These, paired with the Wave of Light Bell item, is going to actually apply burning, which means we can pair this with the Vortex from the chest plate. These combo will trigger a combo that is called Fire Storm, which will guarantee critical hit damage. That chest plate you're going to be using is the Storm Spirit. This is the most highest damage version of it. There's two that triggers Firestorm. This one as well as the Typhloid robe, but you actually want to use the Storm Spirit as it's better damage over time. The legs, you have two options. If you have a Bottled Hope, you can do Cyclone Strike, temporarily decreases all damage, because when you actually use this, what this would trigger is it would trigger the Bottled Hope for you, so you actually get your Bottled Hope proc. I have a good Bottled Hope, so I use this, for instance, so I can get this proc. However, if you're not trying to use a buff proc, then you do not have to use these pants. There's a different version of these pants you can actually be running, which there's the Cyclone Strike ones, but you can also use the Exploding Palms, explosion damage increased by 30%. You can also use the Wave of Light damage is increased by 10% as well. So there's multiple versions of these so you can use, and ignore the Flying Dragons and Mystic Allies. The Flying Kick ones are not going to be using these. And what's interesting is the Flying Kick that generates a Flaming Tornado does not actually trigger burning. So I have tried using this instead of the Wave of Light. It does not work. So you're going to be wanting either Wave of Light damage, Exploding Palm damage, or you're going to be using the Cyclone Strike damage, depending upon which variant you prefer. Now, for the offhand, this is crucial. You're going to be wanting to use the one that allows you to jump to your location. It is an offhand. Let me show you here what it's called. The Reaching Rebuke. That actually turns this into a jump, which gives you the immunity frames, as well as gives you a good amount of time on landing to actually stun people. The main hand is a 7-sided strike, places the Runic Circos, okay? So the actual name of that one, if we look at the weapon here, it's a common one people use for good continual damage, Spirit's Reach. So you're going to be wanting to use Spirit's Reach. These are going to be your legendary items for the build. Like I say, this is a continual damage build. All of these items, including the burning, including the AoE here, and the Cyclone Strike and the Firestorm combo, all of these are continual damage, which is why for this, we're really going to try to get a good 6-piece or a good 4-piece with a 2-piece like Shell Bass set. For instance, if you want good more basic damage, you can even go a 2-piece Mount Banks if you want a little bit more tanky, but at least a 4-piece of the Grace, in my own personal opinion, and the 2-piece is really consistently what you're going to want, because the continual channel and persistent ground damage, these are highly important. Now let me actually show you what a run of the challenge rifts actually looks like. 170 is my current limit. It will be 350 combat rating above what I currently am, so let's go. So you're going to notice what I'm going to be doing with this actual build is I'm going to try to group them up. I'm going to jump sort of into the middle of them, start the burning, and then vortex, and either jump out or jump back in on them. While you're jumping, you have bonus time of them kind of being stunned. You can see they kind of just stand there for a moment. And then really the reality of the build is you're just trying to trigger the Firestorm proc, because what happens is your actual bell here, what your bell does is it catches them on fire. Then if you use the Cyclone with the fire, it triggers a Firestorm combo that guarantees you're going to do 150% critical damage to them. So let me show you what I'm talking about. So let's go and let's find another elite pack here. And let's see, you can see the combat rating's about 350 combat rating higher, so it's a pretty good jump. So we're going to jump onto this elite pack, Cyclone Strike, and then burn, jump onto the pack again, 7-sided strike, jump onto the pack again, another burning, and then that's the DPS, which is pretty good DPS for being 350 combat rating under. Go ahead and do another burn, And then you kind of use the 7-sided strike to just do continual damage. It doesn't give you immunity frames, but the jumping and exploding palms do give you immunity frames. So you sort of use the continual damage like this with the burn and everything, then the exploding palms to jump on top and kind of stun them and keep them in the area while not taking damage. And you just kind of do that over and over and over again, which seems to be the combo. So here we have some more elites. So let's go grab these other elites real quick. Sort of pull them together, continual damage, jump on them, burn. We're just trying to DPS them down as much as we can. And we want to save any deaths that we can for the boss because we probably will die a couple times on the boss. Get some more rift progress, and let's continue. So because it's continual damage, pretty much the whole build is continual damage, it will benefit you significantly to have continual damage increase. So you're going to want that set piece. I use the 4-piece. The 6-piece would work just as well. I've been using the Shao Bass for the 2-piece bonus on the basic attack because I feel like I kind of need the damage. But if I had a really good 6-piece set, I probably would just go with the faux 6-piece set instead. So there we go, Firestorm proc, then Runic, then jump on him again. Another Firestorm proc, and you can kind of continue the damage like that. You get a good amount of time with your Runic strikes for the continual damage. Seeping Bio goes really well with this build if you have a Seeping Bio as well. And there we go. We're just going to continue the DPS. And this is where having the 2-piece Shabazz is kind of nice for these guys. But most of the time, you're trying to just fight the blue guys because, yeah, these guys can kill you. Since he's half dead, we're going to go for the pieces anyway. But most of the time, I just ignore him. Okay, there we go. And DPS should be dead in a moment. Don't kill me, please. Cool. Rift progress, and we'll continue. For the most part, I'm going to try to avoid the yellows as much as I can. Let's pull it back together here. Now, the normal mobs is where you'll really be able to do some good damage. Lots of continual damage for these guys. So let's jump in the middle of them. Big burn. Jump again. Runic strikes, jump again, another big burn. And you can see that right there, that's the point of the build, is you have this timing window where you jump in, you get your moves off, the continual kind of happens the whole time, and you're not really getting popped because you're in the middle of your exploding palm, which is where having that extra charge in the helmet's kind of nice. So here we have a Frenzied Shrine, so we're really about to do some major damage. So let's get a big group of these guys together here. Kind of group them all in, so you jump in, you drop your Runics, you drop your fire, you jump in again, you Firestorm. That's kind of the burn of it. Now we have the Quickening Orb plus the Frenzy, and we're just going to try the DPS down this boss as much as we possibly can while we have all of the bonuses, because that's pretty good damage. We probably could have gone for the next upgrade. I mean, we as far as time goes, we're doing great on time. We might have been able to do... Oh, see, pride comes before the fall. That's what I get for speaking. There we go. We still got Firestorm, do the jump. Try to heal as much as we can and not get burned. Get as much of the DPS in while we can, while we have the 100% crit rate. There's the burn. There's the jump. Okay, jump in. Burn again. Now we have the Firestorm. And the Firestorm really is a good way to get guaranteed, like, critical bonus damage. Alright, and just like that, the damage is looking pretty good. 80k left, we got tons of time. Just drop some continual damage on them, walk back out. That green orb almost got me. Jump in, leave some continual damage, run away again. And there we go. Just like that, boss is down, wave 170. We are good 350 combat rating below. And so I think that, and we had plenty of time. So I think maybe give that build a try, see what you think as far as the monk goes. I think it's got something to it.